all too often, we see and feel the weight of peer pressure, turning boys my age into shells of themselves. They hide their deep desires within them and keep their true personality a mystery. In his 2005 National Catholic Forensics League first place winning original oratory, James McGraw says that we should be proud of the abilities that make us individuals and overcome the tough guys, by James McGraw. From an early age, I learned I was different from all the other boys. On the first day of kindergarten, all the guys called me a girl when I accidentally picked up a Barbie doll. But hey, it was a fashion fun Barbie doll. Yeah. Then, when I was 12, everyone called me gay for doing theater. But I just ignored them. I knew they were jealous because they didn't get to hang out with girls and play dress up. Then, this past year, when I joined the school chorus, the ridicule continued. After calling me girl and gay, the two most derogatory terms you can call a guy, they said, "You gay girl." The mother of all insults. I was about to fight back, but I decided not to let the beast out of its cage. Now I know what many of you are probably wondering. James, are you gay? Well, fortunately for all you ladies out there, the answer is no. Unfortunately for me, you don't care. But think for just a moment. Why do we automatically assume that guys who show emotion, participate in the arts, do forensics, and occasionally play with dolls are not guys at all? The front that men put up to conform to society's definition of what a man must be is what sociologist and filmmaker Jackson Katz refers to as the tough guys. Guise. To validate their masculinity and avoid ridicule, many men are crumbling under these pressures and are concealing their vulnerabilities and engaging in crime. Sadly, we fail to recognize this problem. For example, the media characterizes boys killing boys and girls as kids killing kids, and passively refers to men raping women as women being raped. And of course, there's the age-old justification of boys will be boys. But it doesn't have to be this way. And now, of course, I understand sexism has existed forever, and masculinity is only half of it. However, if we try to truly understand the tough guys, we can solve this problem. Start taking the sex out of sexism, leaving us with ism. Now, as you may or may not know, we still live in a patriarchal society. I mean, think about it. In the 200 years that we've been shuffling leaders in and out of the White House, we've not had one single woman president. According to the March 26, 2004 edition of the Boston Globe, over 90% of all business executives are men. In addition, religions such as Latter-day Saints, Southern Baptists, and Catholics still do not allow women into their full ministry. In a male-dominated, male-privileged society, why would men ever risk losing control? Oprah Winfrey, Hillary Clinton, Anna Nicole Smith, all proof that women are climbing this ladder of success. However, patriarchal society claims that these improvements are proof that we have eliminated sexism. This complacency distracts us from learning more about our gender roles. And in order to fully understand sexism, it is essential that we have a clear understanding of the tough guys. According to sociology scholar Dr. Ann Gilpin, since the beginning, men have been shaped into warriors. In cave ages, males were expected to hunt, grunt, and protect their clan from intruders. In an attempt to create the most powerful nation in the world, Goning explains that we sacrifice the humanity and emotions of our own men in an attempt to create dehumanized killing machines. According to Lawrence Nadler, in his book Advances in Gender Role and Communication Research, over 78% of all police officers are men, and men are still the only soldiers allowed into combat. Nadler goes on to say that our reliance on these sex stereotypic traits locks us to the very dilemma we seek to escape. In turn, We create men who are unable to show their sensitivities, unable to display their vulnerabilities, and unable to escape this aggressive stereotype. And when we perpetuate these stereotypes, we don't end up dealing with sexism effectively. For example, there are shirts that say, "Boys are stupid, throw rocks at them." Now, while the intention of these shirts is seemingly innocent, according to author Bell Hooks, these shirts are a form of anti-feminist backlash. They continue the same old sexist arrangement, only this time with women on top. The tough guys forces tough guys into a mold. And when a boy tries to break out of this mold, he's persecuted. Nowhere is this more apparent than the real-life story of Darren Steele. Darren Steele loved to cook. He enjoyed singing in the St. Chad's choir and taking drama lessons at the DeFur School. One day, Darren was chased out of the gates of his school by a group of bullies, never to return. Despite growing paler and more sickly as a result of repeated abuse by his classmates, Darren never told his teachers that he'd been burned on the back and head with cigarettes and verbally abused. Friends later told BBC.com that he'd been called gay boy and poof just because he liked to cook. Unfortunately, 15-year-old Darren Steele, whose sexuality was never determined and nor does it matter, died inside long before he committed suicide. Although they don't call me names anymore, it still took me a long time to realize that being different is all right. Using terms like gay, homo, and girly man to insult boys that don't happen to fit into this mold is simply oppressive behavior. Not all men like football, and without compassion towards all unique qualities, we only feed into this problem. Sadly, many boys and young men all across the United States are conforming to the tough guys by acting out violently. According to the Bureau of Justice, in 2000, men accounted for over 90% of all violent crime. Men committed to 87.9% of all homicide, making them 10 times more likely to kill than women. Each day, 64 men commit suicide, a rate alarmingly 4 times that of women. Pretending that there isn't a difference between the way men and women act nowadays is no longer a reason to avoid the obvious. There's something wrong with the way our boys are being raised. In order to eliminate the tough guys, we must be aware of the detrimental effects and continue to seek out its origin. In this case, it's discovering why boys are being so oppressive, violent, and emotionally limited. Finally, let's do something about it. Jackson Katz, who coined the term tough guys, explains that there are ways that we can take action. We can mentor and teach young boys that being a man does not involve degrading boys and girls. We can use courage to look inward. We can look at our own attitudes, try to understand how our own attitudes and actions might inadvertently perpetuate sexism, and work hard to change them. But most importantly, we must be willing to do something about it. You know, when I first wrote this oratory, I thought it was enough to just stand up here and list off some solutions. But it was only in the past few weeks that I realized I need to go out in the world and do something about it. We all do. It is evident that the tough guys is a problem that affects everyone. However, if we try to truly understand masculinity, we can end this inequality. A lot of guys believe that fulfilling society's perception of what they must be makes them a man. It was only after looking within that I realized that being myself makes me the man that I am. And after acting in plays, singing in chorus, and playing with Barbie, I realized more about who I want to be by being told who I should be than I could have ever learned by just being what the world expected me to be. And whatever I am, or you are, or we are, as a whole or completely separate, well, that's the kind of ism I could definitely get used to. Thank you.